There are 4 classes to master in Battlefield 6, and whether you like sniping, reviving, blowing things up, or face tanking bullets, there's always another skill to learn. In this video, I want to do a deep dive on one of the classes in the game. Today we'll be focusing on Recon. Now, I won't be talking about the ways you must play this class, but rather I'll be breaking down things to help you make better decisions. This will help you play the game that you want to play rather than the one that I'm playing or what everyone else is playing. If this is your first time on my channel, the way I do things is by upfronting the knowledge of my videos. So with that being said, let me give you some big tips to help you play Recon better and more effectively. I think it's really easy to just say that Recon is the sniper. Grab a rifle and go to town. While that's absolutely a playstyle you can go with for this class, I think there's really so much more under the hood this time around. You are the king of spotting, and I can't stress how important this is for the team. In Battlefield, people blindly run towards locations, hoping to be quick enough to catch enemies when they see them. You give a massive tactical edge by spotting them via drone, gadget, or grenade. Furthermore, you can paint all hard targets, planes, trains, and automobiles, so that your engineers can destroy anything scary before it becomes a real threat. Hell, you don't even need to use anything other than your scope to spot things, and that's a huge improvement over other games in the series. Yes, you're a sniper, but you also can determine the flow of the battle by giving your team advance warning on what's around the corner or help them root out a stubborn squad on a point. If assault pushes the front line, support maintains the back line, and engineer is the shield against armored terror, then you are the torch that lights the way. You'll easily be in the top 5 of any leaderboard by spending time spotting before taking up position and counter-sniping all the snipers you just revealed moments ago. But that's it, too long didn't watch this entire video. I'm going to break down the class and talk about gun options, gadgets, and give you some tips on how to play them. But if that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to just simply shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. You can navigate to any part of the video that interests you the most using the chapters in both the timeline and the description. And if you are heading out, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as each one of those things helps me out in a huge way. Lastly, don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where I play Battlefield and a number of other games, linked in the description below. Let's get started on Recon, my new favorite class, guide and deep dive for Battlefield 6. So loading into the game, let's take a look at those gadgets and weapon traits. You go ahead and press C on PC, or you can go ahead and press down the R3 button to take a look at this. And we've got 3 main things that really set this class apart from other classes. Its first thing is its signature trait. The one thing that I always kind of talk about first in these videos is aim spot. This is what really allows you to be a passive spotting machine without actually having to do anything else. Looking at hostiles while aiming down sights will spot them, marking their position in the world and minimap for all the team. Time required to spot, though, is dependent on factors such as movement and zoom level. What that means is you moving, the target moving, and the zoom level of your weapon. If you are aiming down sight and something is super far away, then you won't automatically spot it. And let's say you're aiming down sight on a 1x scope and it's like 400 meters out. You're not gonna automatically spot it. Vice versa, if you are using a 4x scope and it is super far away, it's easier for you to automatically spot those things. So keep that in mind. And you can't just sweep your, not cursor, but your reticle across the battlefield. Movement is the target moving, you moving, and the actual movement speed of your reticle. So if you just kind of slowly pan over things and stop kind of just like a half a beat on everything, you'll spot them in line with every single aim, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, you spot them when you look at them. But you also get a motion sensor. Now the motion sensor is extremely good because it will spot things within 10 meters on any Z axis, meaning that if you put this on the second floor of a building, everything below it and above it will get spotted. It sets out a sphere to motion sense, actually I think it's more of a square, a 10-meter cube, not a square, a 10-meter cube that will spot everything in that 10-meter radius, which is a measurement for circles, but still, you know what, we're all fucked up right at this point. But my point remains here that the motion sensor is great because you place this on a point you're trying to defend. You place this on, maybe you're doing rush and you're trying to jump into the next point and everyone's kind of stalled out at a line of battle. You can drop a motion sensor to see if the enemy's pushing into you if you're playing defensively, or if you're playing offensively, you can place this at that kind of choke point that the teams are fighting over, to give you a sense of what's coming and going. It is a really invaluable thing that you can use to either use defensively for yourself when you're sniping, or offensively to help the team, that you can go and then place yourself in a location to do some damage. Now, the last thing here is the signature weapon, the sniper rifle proficiency. I think, and I've talked about this in my support video, The sniper rifle proficiency is the best proficiency of any of them because it gives you reduced weapon sway, quicker rechambering between shots, and better breath control for steadier aim. There's so many things that are going on there. It's almost like the LMGs, which is just almost like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to take it. Like assault rifle one, it's nice, but it's just pretty much your ability to go from shooting from sprinting. It's not that huge. And the recoil control on the SMG can be controlled by you, the player. So these other two, the LMG and the sniper rifle ones, are really, really good. I do say though, like I'm Foghorn Leghorn, I do wish that this also gave them DMR proficiency. I think the DMRs definitely need a little bit of proficiency or some sort of help so that you don't have to suffer through 40 levels, or well, it's like 10 mastery levels before you get really anything cool for the DMRs that controls their wild bucking recoil. But that is neither here nor there, unfortunately. That's for another video. So that is our signature set. Let's go into some other information. And that is the training path. So the training path here, your subclasses, whatever you want to call them, you have both Sniper and Spec Ops. Both of them have the UAV Overwatch class active ability. So a lot of people have left me comments on saying, how do I activate this class ability? If you're on PC, you press 6. If you are playing on controller, you press right bumper and left bumper together simultaneously. Some active abilities, and I don't know if this is bugged, I don't know if this is intended, but some active abilities are barred either on a specific map or a specific game mode. Take, for example, I was playing Rush. I had activated the class of active ability and I could not use Overwatch. What's one thing to know with the UAV, I think this is the only one that is present. The UAV cannot just be activated at whim. If someone else has already activated the UAV, you cannot do it until their UAV is done. So it takes 60 seconds and it is a 100-meter revealing of everything. Think of the motion sensor times 10, basically. So it's a really strong class active ability. That's how that works. Now, another thing too, people have left me comments about in some of the other videos, is each one of these is corresponding to a level. So this is level 1, 2, 3, and then your class active ability. As you progress through the match and get experience, you will unlock each one of these and it will carry over from class to class. Meaning, in a match, if I get 10,000 experience or 10,000 points, and I switch from Recon to Engineer, it'll still retain my level of unlock. So just look on the right side and see which ones are colored in. That'll tell you which ones you've unlocked. Now that I've wasted a minute and a half, let's talk about these actual abilities here. So with Sniper, it's pretty obvious we're going to be focusing on Sniper here. And with this, though, you get a lot of really good things. So the auto spotting that you have built into your character has a 33% increased distance and a wider angle. So you can spot things a lot faster and it lasts longer. Those are two really big things. And we'll talk about that in a bit once we go into the gadget section. Target acquire here means that whenever you inflict damage or shoot them, for the most part, you then mark them on the world map and the mini map. So it's really nice. You also have confirmed kill. So if you headshot someone after you've reached this location in the progression, then that person cannot be resurrected by support. So it's a really nice capability. So if you want to snipe, just take this. But maybe you play like I play, and Spec Ops makes more sense for you. So Spec Ops is more of a mid-range style of recon play. It is worth noting that you have to unlock this through the assignments. Remember, assignments only unlock at level 20. I will say that Recon has some of the easier assignments. Like this first one, spot enemies and objectives. I got this in a match. This took me a match to get that first portion, and the second match I got the remainder of the score because it was so quick to get all this stuff racked up. So coming into this, we have to get over 150 headshots as Recon, then we unlock Spec Ops. And Spec Ops is, again, a more of a mid-range play style. So we get stealth tactics so that you reduce your sounds when you are crouched or prone. You already are really quiet when you're just not sprinting in this game. So it makes you like virtually audibly undetectable, which is really nice. Gadget awareness here, spot enemy gadgets marking their position in the world map and minimap. So as long as you're not sprinting, if you're ADS and looking around, you're spotting gadgets for people. So if you've played Call of Duty, this is an actual perk, right? I think it's Scout or Gadgeteer, whatever it's called. But this allows you to see AT mines. This allows you to see claymores. You can see laser designators. You already have this capability if you specifically look at something, but this allows you to just see it from a lot wider of a spectrum. Then low profile, going prone clears your in combat state a 1.5 seconds faster and reduces your spotting status duration by 33%. This means you can sneak forward, kind of like how Frontliner can with Assault. Frontliners, though, meant to like kind of brute force their way forward. You can sneak forward, go prone, and become a literal spawn beacon for your team. I'm sorry, for your squad to spawn onto, right? Because you can go prone, it clears just faster, and it's really easy for you to stealth around using this. So Spec Ops is a specific play style, and it does require you to slow down how you play, maybe moving forward towards objectives. But the reward is you can actually do quite a bit of damage by getting a lot of sight on things, targeting things, spotting things, and giving your team a lot of a warning of what's going on. Going into the grenade section, we have 2 grenades. The throwing knife is cool. What's nice here is headshots instantly kill, and if you don't headshot them, then they can't regen for 10 seconds. It's a cool little ditty, but I really like the proximity detector. So basically you launch this bad boy and it gives you a 5-meter detection radius around it. And it sits there. It's really, really nice. It doesn't last for a ton of time. It's only for 2 seconds, but it gives you basically the ability to throw one of these down like a street that you're not looking at, and you can see if things are coming. Just a quick little blip. It's all you need, right? It's just a quick little sight, or you can help out the team because it's not just you that sees this. The whole team gets to see these things. So maybe you are fighting for point C and you're facing north. Well, there's also a location people could come from the east, but they're really not. You can see, you can catch out any kind of flanks, anything that's happening. I really like this bad boy because you can also use it for yourself when you're just kind of, hey, I'm sniping and looking east. I'm going to throw this just a little bit to my left or my right to give me just a sense of stuff that might be coming from my periphery that I can't see when I'm ADS. It's my favorite grenade when it comes to just trying to give your team a lot of utility and seeing what's going on. Into the gadget section, we get some amazing gadgets. So the 2 I want to talk about first are the laser, or the painting ones. First off, we get laser designator. This is what you start off with. It will laser designate, it will paint objects within a 360-degree field of view of where it was placed. And this is for tanks, it's for all vehicles, it's for helicopters, it's for planes, as long as they are within the range of it. This allows any air defense or long-range launchers to lock on almost instantaneously. Otherwise, that lock-on process, I think, I'm just going to say a blanket term, 3 seconds. I don't know, whatever it is. So you cut down that time and allow for a lot more rockets to go on target faster, helping to pop hard targets much quicker. You help those engineers really do their job. Now, conversely, Tracer Dart is the kind of bigger brother to this, or maybe even adjacent stepbrother that gets stuck in the dryer or some shit. But the way this works is it will allow them to lock on much faster, but it is only relegated to a specific target, and you have to shoot the target with a dart. The dart is easy to shoot, and it does stick to the target, so it's easy for you to kind of get this going. But say a plane, for example, it's going to be a lot harder. A helicopter can be easier, but this works really well on any tanks. So any of those maps that have like 3 tank spawns, you can be the thing that really helps push those tanks over the edge using these tracer darts. In that, I guess, same vein, we'll go to our explosives. We have now the AP mine, which is just simply a claymore. Use this if you're sniping, you know, and you want to like cover your back. Maybe you're in a building. Those things are really nice. You can just simply pop this thing at a stairwell, or maybe there's not an elevator hatch, a ladder hatch that is accessible to your attic, not a basement. Man, I'm all over the place today. So this does have a lot of great application, but you also have C4 explosives. You are the only other class other than engineer that can pop tanks. So you would use this to do just that. And if you're using Spec Ops, it's easy for you to sneak up on stuff and blow them up. But you can use this on other things. You can blow up whole buildings. So think of the application of this as not just simply anti-vehicle. You can use this to set a trap. You can lay like a whole line of these things and wait for the enemy to walk onto them and blow them all up. There's a lot of applications for C4, and C4 is like one of those things that has always been a lot of fun in the Battlefield series. It used to be like when we had commanders back in Battlefield 2, you'd go like blow up UAV stations and artillery, but people would load these with Humvees and drive Humvees into things and blow them up. All sorts of cool stuff can be done with C4, so really have fun with this one. Your other one here is the sniper decoy, which is actually really cool. So set up a scenario. You're trying to counter snipe because you've just revealed that there's tons of snipers on the other side of the field of battle, let's just say. Well, you drop a sniper decoy and it looks just kind of like you do from the chest up, and it creates a scope glint. That's the biggest thing. So it draws everyone's attention to that sniper decoy and they will shoot it, revealing themselves that you just immediately counter snipe. Because look at this. Replicates the stance. Oh, I'm sorry. Taking up a position near a friendly sniper decoy will hide your scope glint with its own. So if you are kind of within, I think it's the 10 meter or 15 meter radius, it allows you to basically just hard scope the whole time, looking down, not having to worry about your scope glint, which is the largest giveaway to you as a sniper, right? So the decoy is actually super helpful this time around. Lastly, though, we have the most important gadget, I think, on this list, the Recon drone. I can't tell you how much fun this bad boy is. It has thermal vision, so you just pop it on. What I like to do is pace myself with this. If I'm playing like a rush, then every time we capture a sector or we're falling back on a sector, I pop the Recon drone out. You would be surprised how much this completely can dictate the flow of that next rush or defense by stalling it or advancing it. You pop the Recon drone out and you just like fly above and just keep spotting everything. And maybe people haven't just kind of like, I don't know, caught on to how this thing works, but you can fly in front of someone's face and they'll just like, oh, fucking, they got bees everywhere in this damn place. They will not shoot you down. Sometimes that happens, but you could honestly use that too to your advantage. If people are shooting at you, start going in circles and figure eights, start trying to draw their attention, because if they're spending time shooting at you, that's time that they're not facing your team and they will get killed. Every time I've used the Recon drone and I've focused down on a pocket or a specific squad, I have watched my team organically move to kill that squad because now they can see a cluster on their minimap. And there's one thing we all know. First-person shooter players cannot, it's like catnip. They cannot avoid a cluster of enemies to run towards and shoot at. So you use this Recon drone, you just simply fly over the field of battle, spot everything, and people will gravitate towards and kill those things. Now, the last thing the Recon drone though is really good for is destroying other gadgets. You just simply suicide into another Recon drone, and you can honestly, it's not even suicide. You hit that Recon drone, it will die, and you will stay, and it will stay alive. You can also fly onto enemy AT mines because it will blow them up. This is really tricky though, because I think it's actually a bug. If you see those AT mines and you just fly onto them, it won't blow up. But if an enemy tank is near them and you fly onto them, it blows them up. So again, I think this is a little bit of a bug. Maybe it'll get patched away, but use this Recon drone because it can just be your most versatile tool, and you will get so many points. This is going to be the thing that this pushes you up the leaderboard because you're actively helping your team. Every time you spot one person, all you got to do is aim at them. You get 5 points. So you spot 5 people, that's 25 points, and it just keeps racking up and racking up and racking up. It is huge. Now, in my other videos, I don't actually ever talk about your secondary, but since you are a sniper, it is worth knowing. I actually really like the ES 5.7. Not unlocked it in this account, but it's really honestly just a better P18, like across the board. It's got one less precision. That's it. So if you want a particular pistol, go with that if you want. But I mean, dude, I'm a huge fan of this one right here. I'm a huge fan of this guy too. So use whatever makes the most sense for you. But I do want you to think about a pistol that works the way that you want it to work, because you will be defaulting this in close quarter situations. So play with it a lot in the firing range to see what clicks with your playstyle. You know, like, do you want more of like a quick shooting, fast shooting situation, or a higher damage, lower fire rate sidearm? It is entirely up to you. But I will tell you, and I'll talk about this in a little bit once we go into some sniping methodologies, make sure you try to put the best scope you can on it. It takes a long time to unlock this bad boy, but getting the best scope on this will help you to spot enemies when you're trying to kind of do some peak scope stuff we'll talk about in just a little bit. But outside of that, we also have our primary guns. And of course, go with what makes sense for you and the way that you want to play. The sniper rifles are sniper rifles, man. Just, these are all bolt action. So just choose one that fits the way that you like to play. You unlock them at different points too. So You're going to just have to really kind of choose the one that feels the best for you. I don't really have any kind of preference. This is at rank 26. This is after you do the Deadeye challenge, which the PSR is going to take a lot to unlock. I'm not going to lie to you. It's quite a bit. But the other portion of this, though, is the DMRs. The M39, I think, is a terrible gun, but it does get better as you use it. And I use DMRs not as long-range weapons. I always personally use them with a 2x scope or a 1x scope and hang out on that range and try to be more of a medium range threat. It just fits my play style. Once you unlock the SVK, you'll be cruising. The SVK is a 2-shot kill, and it feels absolutely delightful. So once you get to that DMR wise, you'll have a great time. Now, one curveball I want to throw your way. SMGs. SMGs are actually really good with this class because it has the capability to get up close and personal, and you have the ability to see where things are. SMGs are all about, like, a hot and fast run and gun type of damage and play style. But half of that is kind of, you're just going so quickly that you can kind of try to take people off or catch people off guard and kill them before they can kill you. You use that high fire rate. Well, now you can see where they are. So if you are sneaking around, you can see where they are. You just simply gun them down before they even have a chance to do anything. I was experiencing this guy named Wiz. He's now scarred me. He was running around with just the SGX, and he was melting face as a recon because he just knew where everyone was, and he knew when they would come through a location, he would buzz through, kill 2-3 people, and then just vanish into the night. He was like the Batman of SMG. So I don't want to discourage you away from just I want to encourage you away from just DMRs and sniper rifles to try this class in different ways, because it can be used in so many ways outside of simply sniping. So before we go into the details of, how to play this class and so on and so forth that I usually close out the video with, I want to talk about some general sniping methodologies that'll probably help you out. Now, there's no Coriolis effect. We don't got to worry about the curvature of the earth. The bullet drop in this game is not nearly as bad as it has been in previous battlefields. But what I see a lot of people doing is this. Yeah, this can work, and definitely for sure, right? Like if you're aiming down at another sniper and you guys see each other, it's like that situation of like, who's going to get this shot off first, doing stuff like this. And yeah, that works for sure, man. It's a video game. But there's a shrub right here, and your character is covered in a ghillie suit. And the point of a ghillie suit is to break the... I'm not the best way to describe. There's not the best way for me to describe this. Break the horizon line in a way that doesn't make it so it's obvious for you to be seen, because you are now, rather than being a human-looking object, you kind of look like a bush. And this works by you not moving. The less you move, the harder it is for... I could say like this and someone would run by me because I'm just not moving. We as humans, and as like, and again, I'm not an anthropological biologist, botanist. We track by seeing what breaks horizon lines. So if we're trying to look at this horizon line, let's assume this is the horizon line here. I'm looking at these little like leaves that are floating around, and it's easy for me to track because they're breaking the horizon line. This stuff that moves is your eye immediately drags to it. So if you don't move, you are harder to be spotted. Now, if someone's aiming down a sight at you, yeah, it's easy if you just do like, even just something like this, or even just doing like big movements. Those are easy to be seen because your character is moving with those movements. But if you're just kind of like doing stuff like this, it's harder for you to be seen. And it's a little bit easier for you to pick out snipes that you want. Shooting is obviously going to reveal you on the map. So consider those things. But this is how you spot people easier, and it prevents you from getting spot because you are trying to not break that horizon line, and you're hunting for people that are. And also, spend less time aiming down sights. If I spend all my time doing this, on a rock no less, I am the easiest target to counter snipe. But if I'm looking around like this, I'm like, okay, you know what? I see 4 people moving right here. Then I can shoot them, Like you take that time, you take your moment to set up your shot using just your normal eye by looking around to go, okay, I know around there's someone moving. Let's see what's going on. Okay, now I can see it and shoot it. So try to line these shots up with that movement a little bit better. Now, unfortunately on this map, I can't show you because this is like a, what this thing called, the portal. Another thing you can do is assume this is your pistol you can like kind of like pop out of cover and aim down sights with your pistol if you want, or even look around with your pistol, because your pistol does give you a little bit of magnification depending on what the scope is, like I was saying in the loadout section, and it also helps you to get a sense of where things are by actual aiming down and blurring the rest. So you can use your pistol to kind of get like a quick bearing on objects before you switch over and shoot and kill. So don't think that sniping is this. This isn't Hunt Showdown, where you have to strafe left and right and try to fake out someone's shots. I mean, that is definitely a part of counter sniping, but you also get a lot more longevity out of your position by simply staying put, finding a good spot, making it harder for someone to actually have shots on you, and then shooting. Last thing here is, after you've killed enough people, displace, leave. You can't sit there the whole map, because people are now going to know that you've done that. You've killed that person twice. They're going to hunt you. So all those things considered, how do you really get better at this class? And I think, you know, getting better, let me start off too by saying I am a terrible sniper. This is the first time in ages I've actually enjoyed sniping in a video game, because not everyone's quick scoping and the bullet drop isn't insane. Like in Battlefield 2042, you'd have like, there's a term for the individual hash marks that would denote moving laterally or up and down on a scope. You drop 2 of those hash marks at like 150 meters. I'm like, that doesn't make much sense. The bullet drop in this is like near nothing. So it's easier for me to snipe because I am not great at it. But playing this class has opened up so many doors to really dictating the flow of your team. You use those drones to spot things. And like I've said before, you can even see in some of this footage, we get pretty close with the drone, man. Like we get up in that cookie jar, and you can have a lot of fun with this because it allows you to not just simply, okay, I can't get to a sniping spot, I keep getting killed. I'm trying to run over here, I keep getting killed. Hey, let the match settle. The game started. Everyone's sprinting forward. Okay, you as a sniper, where am I gonna go? Chill. Pop out your drone. Help find what's going on. In a conquest match, you're gonna start all the way at HQ. So maybe go grab some points. But once you kind of get to that point where both teams have kind of hit the central point and they're fighting over it, chill. Don't jump into just shooting things. Pop out your drone. Spot things, because not only does that help your team, but it gives you a sense of where you should and shouldn't go as a sniper. You're not going to be able to deal with something pretty close and personal, right? Unless you really get lucky and get the drop on them, and you can kill them with your rifle and maybe swap to a pistol, whatever it is. So take your time, go slow. Think of every time you've watched one of those like Future Weapons Discovery Channel things, like the sniper will take 3.5 years to crawl to his target. You know, like it's usually something ridiculous like that. So play that way. Take your time, get a good pace, set the match how you want to play it, but also consider that once things kind of settle, once the initial go of the map happens, you now have sight on where things are pretty much going on. You've spotted for your team and you're doing some killing. Use that to your advantage. And hey, you know what? You got killed. Great. Go spawn on your team in the front line, drop a sensor on the ground. Now your team knows if someone's coming to and for whatever location you're trying to hold or defend or what have you, and then break off and go find a new place to snipe. Do that. And then after a little bit of time, you'll notice that the map will start to move. Hey, you're playing Conquest. You guys had A, B, and C, and they just had D and E. Well, now you just have A. Cool. Pace yourself again. Pop that recon drone out, look around. Okay, I can see that the majority of things are at B and C, and I've got a pretty good clear pocket around here in between or somewhere over here. I can go over here now to snipe into this pocket I know is right there. This allows you to help the team out. It allows you to dictate the flow of the counteroffensive that needs to happen in a situation when you're losing, or it allows you to dictate your defense when you're winning. You have such a strong ability as Recon in a way that no other class does. Having sight on everything like that is profoundly powerful in this game, because Battlefield is really all about map knowledge, right? Map knowledge personally, but also like what's going on the map, like that kind of map knowledge. Like, hey, I can see, I have that recon, I have that intelligence, I know where things are, I can create opportunity and I can go and attack, I can go defend, I can play with my friends, and I can be the one who's spotting for them as they go through locations, which I've done, and it's nothing makes me feel more like I am playing the fucking movie Medal of Honor or whatever the hell it was with the Navy SEALs, where it's like that's your shoreline, whatever the hell that movie was. That is an awesome feeling to be able to spot for 3 people that are sweeping through something. And then you just kind of bring up the caboose and join them. It feels really cool. You feel like a really badass recon character. So have fun with this. Play the game how you want to, of course, right? I'm just some fucking content creator, but I want you to also know that you don't have to just be the headshot king. You don't have to be no-scoping through the map. You don't need to 360 no-scope someone. You can take time, spot things, help the team, create that flow of combat, of battle, but also make sure you're painting the targets of all the vehicles so that your team can take those out. You have so much strength that is locked not just behind a sniper rifle, but all the things that your class has to offer. So hopefully now you have a better understanding of Recon. I know, again, I'm not the best sniper in the world. You've seen from this footage, and I know that maybe those sniping tips aren't the most accurate thing nowadays because the games have changed, right? Like, stuff is so much easier to shut off shrubs and stuff like that. So if you have any really good information as someone who's always played Recon, or you know what, sniping is your thing in video games, let it be known in the comment section below. I have drastically kind of changed my opinion of Recon coming into Battlefield 6. I used to just kind of think, Recon, I'm not a good sniper, I'm not gonna have fun with this. I now really enjoy the Recon play style, the gameplay loop of spotting and creating that opportunity, then going and killing. It seems really fun and very like hunting. It's badass. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.